Next are candidates for the 64th Ohio District. Ohio Representative Martha Yoder and Michael O'Brien. We'll begin with Mr. O'Brien.
Good evening, and thank you very much for the invitation. You know, after I graduated from college, and people that choose their vocations, some go to medical school, become doctors, some go to law school, become attorneys, some people choose to be teachers, some people choose to be electricians, plumbers, pipe fitters. I chose my career path to be public service. I graduated Youngstown State University in criminal justice, worked for the Warren Police Department for 3 years. I left the Warren Police Department to take a job at the Trumbull County Juvenile Court as a probation officer. At the very same time, I ran for Warren City Council, and I was elected, and I served as a Warren City Councilman for 12 years. After I was Warren City Councilman, I ran for Trumbull County Commissioner, and I was successful, and I was Trumbull County Commissioner for 12 years. After I left the Trumbull County Commissioner's office, I left because I ran for the City of Warren mayor, and I was mayor of the City of Warren for 8 years. Once the president state representative was term limited, Tom Letson, I ran for state representative and was elected state representative. So ladies and gentlemen, I've been doing what I do for 34 years, and I enjoy what I'm doing, delivering services to people at that particular time, Trumbull County, and then the last 2 years, Trumbull County and parts of Ashtabula County. My whole basis of my public service has been constituent service driven. Whether it's being chairman of the Finance Committee of the City of Warren, or a county commissioner who is responsible for restoring a 100-year-old courthouse, constructing a brand new county jail, constructing a bypass from Trumbull County to Ashtabula County, working with both county commissioners from both counties, or to delivering services to constituents in every shape and fashion. I've been successful. This is my 28th election. I've been fortunate enough to be elected 27 times prior. I would really appreciate the support that I've received over this past years from constituents. I have been very active as a member of the Ohio House, and the most fortunate position in the world I have been in, that is the position of being seated in the Ohio House Assembly next to John Patterson from Ashtabula County, who is a great role model in public service for not just Ashtabula County, but for the state of Ohio. I enjoy what I'm doing. My name is Michael O'Brien, and I'm a state representative, and I would appreciate your vote for re-election. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Yoder.
My name is Martha Yoder, and I'm running for state representative in the 64th District. I am not a career politician. While I have not been part of the political establishment, I'm not lacking in the experience or skills required to represent the 64th District in Columbus. As someone who has started and continues to own and run a business, I have developed the leadership skills and traits needed to serve the citizens of this district. Skills like communication, problem solving, traits like a work ethic and perseverance. My company provides residential services to adults with developmental disabilities. I have often had to advocate and be a voice for my clients, and will do the same for the citizens of this district. Several years ago, I began to get involved in community issues and even wrote about these issues for the Warren Tribune Chronicle. I ran for township trustee and won, and I'm in my 3rd year as trustee and 2nd year as chairman of the Farmington Township Trustee Board. During my time as trustee, I've worked hard to move my township forward. We now have a comprehensive plan, and will soon have a new zoning resolution based on that plan. Additionally, we are getting ready to launch a paid fire service. I have also worked hard to modernize, organize, and make our board more efficient. I take every opportunity I can to increase my own knowledge. I graduated from the Ohio Township Leadership Academy and the Joanne Davidson Leadership Institute. I've attended the Fire Marshal's Program for Public Officials, and I meet with other officials on all levels of government. One thing I've learned as trustee is that infrastructure, particularly roads, are underfunded. One of my goals as representative would be to work to make infrastructure funding more of a priority. Another priority for me is reforming the law regarding sewer tie-ins to respect the rights of homeowners with working septic systems. The foster care system is badly in need of reform. Attorney General DeWine made a list of recommendations for reform 3 years ago, which the legislature has not acted on. My goal is to act on those recommendations. Whether it's these issues or any others, please know that I understand something better than most career politicians. We, the people, elect people, not just to an office, but to do a job. If I'm elected, I will work hard and do the job of representing the 64th District in Columbus. Thank you.
Thank you. How can the state representatives make sure more fracking money goes to the state, and how can you be sure that the fracking process is safe? Mr. O'Brien.
The fracking process is governed by the Ohio Department of Natural Resources presently, and the fracking process has been scrutinized not just Nashville County, Trumbull County, but probably all the counties that have been involved in the fracking process. The Ohio Department of Natural Resources has the specialists, they have the geologists, they have the chemists, and they have the experts. And working with the Ohio Department of Natural Resources and other agencies under the governor's office to ensure, first and foremost, safety for the public's drinking water, and also to ensure the process of land and roads, and working with county agencies for road repair, basically working with those agencies under the governor's office. Now, in the report regarding fracking 2, as you addressed, to more money going to the state and changing the formula for those types of allowances to go to the more percentage going to the state would be something that would have to propose as a bill.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Yoder.
I pretty much agree with what Representative O'Brien has said. I think there is another issue, though, and I know that Mr. O'Brien and Mr. Patterson have proposed a bill, House Bill 422?
422.
Correct. To address the injection wells. And I do think that there is an issue with that, and it does need to be addressed. I actually sat on the Trumbull Township Association committee that made some recommendations, some of which were put into the bill. And I do think we need to improve that.
Thank you. What is your opinion of the proposed privatization of county boards of development and disabilities programs, such as the Asheville County Ashcraft facility? Ms. Yoder.
Well, I'm in this field, and I've actually been a part of it. I'm a private provider myself. I think it's going to happen. This is not actually something that's come from the state. It's something that's come from the federal level. I don't agree necessarily with all of it. I think, and I probably need a lot more than 30 seconds to talk about this because this is my field, but I think we have to, whatever we do, we have to honor the wishes of the individuals involved as well as their parents. I think privatization can be a good thing. I'm a private provider. I provide private residential services. I've done it for 22 years. There's good and there's bad in private and in public. I think we have to listen to the individuals and we have to listen to their families.
Mr. O'Brien.
Thank you. I agree with some things that Martha Yoder says regarding the client's needs, but at the same time, again, I agree it's something driven by the federal government. However, I'm feeling that the specialists and the public employees and the specialists that are experts in this field have a very good handle on the needs of the client, the needs of the families, and I have a history of being against privatization. At the same time, this is driven by the federal government, but the needs of the clients, the needs of the families be taken into consideration. And again, as agreeing with Martha Yoder, it's something that's more complex than the 30 seconds we're going to get to before I didn't answer.
Mr. O'Brien, someone wants to have you explain any bills you have passed or introduced.
The bills, I have not, we have not been fortunate to pass any bills. I have not been fortunate to pass any bills. I have co-sponsored, probably in a bipartisan fashion, I may add, co-sponsored 180 bills. Most recently, a bill regarding the over-the-counter. I was the Democrat that made a bill bipartisan, the prohibiting over-the-counter sale of cough syrup to anyone under 18 at convenient marts and gas stations. Pharmacies had that law intact, but not convenient marts, gas station, and small stop and shop and saves. And I was able to co-sponsor a bill with the Republican majority. The fact of the matter is we have 99 members of the House, 66 Republicans, 33 Democrats, and I will be introducing some bills, and I will probably go into the next question on those bills. But the fact of the matter is I have not passed any bills as a Democrat and not introduced any bills, but co-sponsored 180 bills.
Thank you. Ms. Schiller, you want to respond?
There's not really much to respond to. I think it speaks for itself.
Okay, thank you. What can you do to help promote small businesses in Ashtabula County, such as family business, possibly in the tourist industry? Ms. Yoder.
I think very generally, I think we can work really hard to make sure that the regulations are not too onerous. As a small business owner myself, and in a very highly regulated business, I know that oftentimes I spend more time with my paperwork than I do with my clients, which is very frustrating. And I know that no matter what the business, if you have onerous regulations, particularly from the EPA, things like that, we need to make that process as easy as possible for folks, and we need to, we need to carefully examine whether the regulations are necessary. I think that's the biggest thing that we can do. Get out of their way so they can do business.
Thank you. Mr. O'Brien.
Thank you. I agree with Martha Yoder regarding streamlining regulations. For instance, we were able to, Sean O'Brien, who's a candidate for Senate, and I were able to work with the director of the EPA to lift the moratorium, and I know this is not Trumbull County, but to lift the moratorium on septic issues in Trumbull County. Trumbull County was only one county out of 88 counties with the moratorium on septic from the consent decree. The point of the matter is lifting that moratorium will help businesses, will help homeowners, will help realtors, will help home sellers, will help home buyers, but streamlining regulations, always working with businesses. I've been endorsed by literally every organization that endorses. I've been honored by the Chamber of Commerce as Public Official of the Year twice during my times as mayor. I have a strong working relationship with Chamber of Commerce's, the Business Association, and it's constituent-driven.
Thank you. What can the state do to better aid firefighters and police officers with PTSD? Mr. O'Brien.
Thank you. You know, I have a son that's recently honorably discharged, decorated soldier from the Marines from Afghanistan. Counsels. Now he works for a homeless veterans shelter and counsels veterans with post-traumatic stress disorder. You can talk about what you want to do with PTSD, but how are you going to fund it? I'm on the Finance Committee. I'm a proponent, as well as John Patterson's on the Finance Committee, proponent of funding social service agencies, mental health agencies for issues like post-traumatic stress disorder, illnesses on the opioid heroin epidemic that we have nationwide, priorities, the mental health, post-traumatic stress disorder, policemen and firemen. This was my background as I majored in criminal justice at Youngstown State University. It's a living and breathing thing. It's something that has to be addressed, but before you can address it, you need to fund it, and that has to be a priority in the Finance Committee, driven by the Budget Director, driven by the Governor.
Ms. Yoder.
I think he kind of touched on something that I think is important. I think we need to encourage those who have had issues to come back and help those who are having issues now. Nobody understands the issues more than those who have. I think we probably disagree on levels of funding, but I think certainly we need to make sure that we take care of those who have taken care of us.
Thank you. That's all the questions we have. Martha Yoder.
Thank you.
And Michael O'Brien.
Thank you.
The League of Women Voters would like to thank everyone for attending. This is being taped and will be rebroadcast on the ATEC channel. And I'd like to thank Mr. Scott Waldega and some of his students from the media at Pymatuma Valley High School for taking their time and doing this for us. Thank you.